Inflation measures the average change over time in prices of goods and services. The government statistician, Professor Kobina Annim, said food inflation dominated the overall inflation figure with 54.5% compared to other divisions.
This means that year-on-year inflation for the month of June 2020 was 11.2%. Literally, what this means is that between June 2019 and June 2020, prices of general goods and services have gone up on the average by 11.2%. On a month-on-month basis, that is between May 2020 and June 2020, we see a change in 1.0%. To refresh our thoughts on what we recorded for the month of May 2020, in May 2020, on a year-on-year basis, we recorded 11.3, which means that on a year-on-year basis, we see a slowdown by 0.1% between May 2020 and June 2020. On a month-on-month basis, that is between April 2020 and May 2020, we recorded a month-on-month inflation of 1.7%, and between May 2020 and June 2020, we are recording an inflation of 1.0%. A further disaggregation at the year-on-year basis, and we realize that from a year-on-year perspective, food continued to dominate its contribution to inflation. Specifically, food is contributing 54.5% relative to other divisions. The second division that comes highest is housing division, followed by transport. We must indicate that the contribution of food inflation over the past 2 months have slowed down. It will be recalled that in the month of April, food inflation contributed 59.6%, followed by 58.6% in May, and now we are recording 54.5%.
Only 2 of the 13 divisions had higher than average inflation rate. Housing, water, electricity and gas recorded 21.3%, and food and non-alcoholic beverages recorded 13.8%. At the regional level, the overall year-on-year inflation ranged from 4.3% in the Upper West region and Volta region to 15.0% in Greater Accra. In all but Greater Accra, Northern region and Upper East region, food inflation was higher than non-food inflation. The overall month-on-month inflation was between 2.2% in the Upper West region and 2.5% in Greater Accra region. Ashanti region saw the highest month-on-month inflation between April and May 2020. Overall, regions with high month-on-month inflation between April and May 2020 saw lower month-on-month inflation this month and vice versa.